ladies and gentlemen, hello, welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Big D, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing some Dragalia Lost. Dragalia Lost is a new game from Nintendo, the property that they just obtained recently. I've been playing for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, no, it's been more than that. It's about 2.5 weeks, kind of getting my hands around the game and how the aspects are, and it's a very big, grindy RPG game. It's fantastic. I've been waiting to put this out. It has some great material in it, and we're going to start today to kind of go through everything rather quickly, and then I'm going to have a series of videos following this that kind of give you an overview of everything that has to do with Dragalia Lost, as well as some of the other games that I played besides Dragalia Lost. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said, today's just going to be a quick overview of everything. They have a nice little Halloween event going on right now, and at the end of the video, I'm going to do a 10-pull summon and hope we get something good. Alright, so let's kind of get started. So, this is Dragalia Lost. It's essentially got a lot of RPG aspects to it. You can build characters. So to start off, I'm going to just kind of give you a quick rundown of everything. So these are your adventurers. These are the people that you're going to be fighting with most during your fights. It sounds redundant. So you level up your characters. This is Lily. This is a 5-star character. I've had her since the last raid event that just passed a few days ago. So over here where I'm going to be just tapping on the screen, you can see me tapping over. She's an attack unit. She has this 29 here, means she has 29 pieces of her mana circle have been unbound, is the proper term. So she's unlocked 29 of her mana circle abilities or stat increases, and every layer you have to unbind it to unlock the next ring above that. Her might is a combination of everything: her level, her HP, her strength combined into her might. Then every character has skills. Right now her skills are both at level 1. Right now she has Frozen Gale, which deals water damage to surrounding enemies and summons spikes around her. Her other ability is Glacial Blossom. All characters have multiple abilities. If you give them an elemental weapon, they get a third ability. So those are her 2 skills. In your mana circle, you'll also be able to level up these skills. Then we go to her co-abilities. So when you form a team, each character has their own ability. However, you can't have the same ability twice in a team, and if you do have the same ability twice, the weaker of the 2 abilities gets canceled out. So in her case, she gets skill damage up by 8% for the entire team, gets an increase of 8% for their skill damage. And finally, these are her innate abilities. So at full HP, she gets a plus 15% boost to strength. She has a 50% resistance to burn, which means that it just reduces the susceptibility of burn. That's when her health is full increase. And then skill prep is 75%, which means all your skills don't have necessarily a cooldown, but they have what is essentially, the more you do attacks, the more it increases the prep for the skill. So here it's already 75%, so when you go up to meet your first batch of enemies, your skills will essentially be maxed out and ready to go. At least your first skill will. Your second skill takes a little longer than your first does. And then it just kind of gives you a few details about that character. Next, we're going to move on to mana circle, since they have the most to do with characters. So I'm going to go to Lily, since that's who I reviewed, and I kind of gave you guys a quick showing of what her abilities and everything are. So these are your mana circles. It's essentially your skill tree, but you don't really get to pick a path. So currently I'm on the 3rd one. I have to unlock this skill, which I just need to get some water orbs, and it'll level up my Glacial Blossom to level 2. And here, once you finish that 3rd circle, I have to unbind by having all of those things and enough of them to unbind for the next circle. And as you can see, the circle doesn't just increase skill abilities, it increases HP, increases strength, it can increase. So here it says upgrade skill, this does Frozen Gale, but here it says upgrade ability, and it increases my burn resistance to 100%. So it can upgrade pretty much everything. And here it upgrades your Force Strike, which is something I'm going to get into in a little bit. It's essentially an attack that lets you break a guard of an enemy, and a lot of people don't know how to do that, but we'll get into that in a second. Next is crafting. I have a lot of weapons right now, but what I'm going to kind of show you guys, if I can get to it, is the weapon I'm using for Lily, which is right here. I just want to show it, or not. Apparently it won't even let me show it. I might have to go to crafting because it's already essentially maxed out. Yeah, so that's where you increase your weapons. You unbind a weapon by putting the same weapon into it. So I'm going to go to staffs because that's what she has. Right now I have a latch key on her. It's completely unbound. That's what these diamonds resemble here. You need 4 of the same weapon to unbind it, and that also goes for worm prints and dragons can be unbound. Adventurers are not unbound. You get a special material for them though. That's called Elder Water, which you can either level a 4-star character up to a 5-star, or to finish the mana circle on the 5th level, it mostly uses or requires Elder Water to finish off that 5th circle. So right now it has no skill, and it's just essentially just adds power to my character. However, I can enhance it because mine is unbound. I just need the materials, and I'm going to stick. So these on the side here, you can see they're different colors. On the right hand side, those are the different elements that you can choose from. And in order for you to use the ability, the element of the weapon has to match the character. So in this case, it'd be Lily, so I'd have to go with this bottom tree, and you can view what the weapon would be. So this is what it would start at level 1, which is what I would get it at if I just unbound it right now. And I get this ability, which the skill increases the user's defense by 28% for 10 seconds. So it's not that great, which is why I'm not going to upgrade it to this. But then you can upgrade it to the water version. This is the specific water version for her, which this again is the level 1 stats, and gives you Lacrima, which has increased the user defense by 25% for 10 seconds. However, you need all of these materials in order to create that weapon. So one thing that's very interesting is, so in this case of Lily, even though her 4-star version isn't good, the 5-star version would get the ability that's on the other weapon. So they switch every other weapon, every other level, they get the opposite ability. So the 5-star version of her weapon will have the attack ability, which the attack ability will essentially be deals damage to surrounding enemies, but in the element that it is. If you could see, all of them have their own element, and that's what her weapon would be at 5 stars if I were to do it at the 5-star. Right now I don't have that unlocked, but that's how crafting works. So crafting, you can create the basic weapon enough times to unbind it, then after you unbind it you can enhance it to the next level, and then after you enhance it you have to unbind the enhanced version in order to unlock the base form of the final elemental weapon. I'll just run over that with the showed. So once you unbind this basic view, the one that says view on it right now, once you unbind that, you can evolve it into the next stage for whichever of the elements that you're trying to go for. After you unbind that version, which requires 4 versions of this unbound to get this unbound fully, then you need to unbind this. Then after you unbind this version, the second tier, you get 1 version of the final tier, and in order to get that version unbound, you need to get 4 more of the version 2, which requires 25 of the version 1. So as you can see, it's not very cheap to craft weapons. I just exited out of everything, but it's very essential to increasing their might. Next is worm prints. So worm prints come in all shapes and sizes. There's 5 stars all the way down to 1 stars. Everything essentially goes on a 5-star to 1-star with the exception of your castle, which I will get into as quick as I can. Like I said, this is just a quick kind of rundown of everything that's going on. So as you can see here, I got a few copies of the same 5-star. So what the cards do is the cards give you extra abilities. They give you extra strength and extra HP, as well as giving you extra abilities. So here, as long as my HP is above 70%, I get an increase of 8% health. And flame resistance gives me plus 5% for flame resistance. However, as you can see with this card, which is not unbound, which I believe the first one is by 1. Oh no, it's not. So this is going to be interesting now. So I'm going to show this card because this card was given away at the raid. This card is unbound twice. It's level 40, but her ability is burn resistance 15% and skill prep 10%. However, when I go to the level 1 version of the card, you can see that it's burn resistance 15 and skill prep 10. I think I just selected this. It wasn't the same card, but it's the same stat line, 10 and 15. Yeah. So once you this card's not fully unbound, but once you fully unbind a card, then you should be able. Oh, it's already on. That's someone else. Once you unbind a card, let me see if I go here. Should be able to unbind it. Bind. It raises the level, as you can see here, and I believe level cap from 50 to 65. Unbound. Well, with getting more levels increases the abilities of that card. So not just, even though right now it doesn't show a stat change, it will show a stat change once I level the card up to those levels. Finally, we have dragons. Dragons are essentially your I did enough damage to characters or collected enough dragon ability. There are little items that you collect from beating enemies, or you just also get it from beating enemies without collecting extra. So the dragons essentially work the same way as cards, but they're a bit of like cards and characters. Because you summon them, they have a special attack that they can only use once when you bring them out, and you can also unbind them. So example is with Poliau, I'm going to actually unbind her because that's what I want to do. So as you can see, I've unbound her twice already. I'm going to unbind her again for the 3rd time. The very important thing to do with dragons though is to make sure you put your dragon with a person of a similar element. The reason being is, I'll show you Leviathan right now. He's my highest level, not one of the best ones. He's good for a 5-star, he's really good. The best ones right now are Agni, and also I think it's Zephyr, yeah. So the reason why it's important not just to have 5 stars, well, it's not really important to have 5 stars, but the reason it's good to have 5-star dragons is because they give a bigger boost to stats. So he has an ability that gives 40% increased strength to my water user. So if I put him with Lily, which it is, Lily gets a 40% stat boost for strength, which is huge for any team. So as you can see with my teams, I kind of put that into perspective, except here I didn't, and it should be Pele. Even though it decreases my might, the stat boost that Pele gives is more important, because Pele gives a 20% stat boost. That's huge, and not having that stat boost is a waste, because you're just wasting that dragon space. Even if he's not the highest level, might's not all that matters. So I'm going to kind of go and show you the co-op abilities as I was just explaining before. As you can see, my Makoto, her co-op ability is +5 strength, but also this card's ability, I think it's Solaria, her ability is +3 strength. So because hers is +3 strength and Makoto's is +5, Makoto is the one that stays and Solaria is the one that does not. So one important thing to do with starting out is actually the character that you are in the game, your card character, which is this card right here. As you can see, it's the name of whatever you chose is right there. You want to get him to the 2nd tier, the 3rd tier of Mana Circle, where he gets this ability. The ability is player XP plus 10%, which means as long as he's on the team, he doesn't have to be the active person you're fighting with, but as long as he's on the team, when you clear a quest, your quest XP is increased by 10%. I failed to do this in the beginning of the game. I just kind of, you hit the optimize button and let it do the things itself, but even when you hit optimize, it doesn't necessarily mean it's optimizing in the best way, nor does it mean it's optimizing for the most might. It kind of just optimizes. I'll give you an example. I think this is, they're the same might, aren't they? They're the same team. No, this is a little better. So I'll use it on this. So for example, if I hit optimize and I hit all, so it includes all the elements, and I just hit offensive, the highest might that it'll give me is 9146. However, you can see here they're 4-star cards. So just because a card is 4-star, this card is Sniper's Allure. Sniper's Allure currently gives me, there we go, 50 HP and 18 strength. However, all 5-star cards will give you a boost to both HP by 25 and offense by 3, which increased my might from 9146 to 9204. So just because you optimize it doesn't mean it's giving you the most might. That's just one very basic example. The weapons, it does try to give you the strongest weapon you have of that class, so that's the weapon it does fine with. The cards and the placement of dragons to characters is not necessarily always the best. Finally, after going through everything here, I'm not going to go to summons just yet, but I'm going to go to Castle. Castle Grounds is very important. So not only do you have Dragon's Roost, but you also have the Castle Grounds, which you need to increase your facility level, collect all the gold, even though it's not a lot. But the most important thing here is your smithy. You want to get your smithy as high as you can, as quick as you can. Which means that you have to increase this number right here, your facility level, as quick as you can. In order to do that, you need to level up all of the properties that you get. While you can start leveling up the altars, which is kind of easy in the beginning and harder later on, the other thing that's easy to level up are the gold mines, because in the beginning they only take gold to increase their level. So even though you're using gold to increase their level, later on, I'll show you, I think this one's 17, it takes both light orbs, small and medium size, in order to level up to the next level for the mines. The dragon trees take these dragon talons after a while, which you can only get from using diamantium, which is the paid for currency, or reaching level 10 with your dragon and dragon roost. So you kind of just want to increase your facility level exponentially, but that does not affect your dragon roost. So here we could see all the different things that you can give your dragon to increase friendship. I know that so this final one here, for example, Floral Circlet is Wednesdays only, but certain dragons have a better increase their friendship or bond better with certain items. For example, I know, I think that Joan d'Arc increases higher. Yeah, you'll get 3 music notes on each side. Increases higher when you give her her favorite food. I believe that was a floral circlet. That's what her favorite one is. And every level you increase your bond, it extends the duration of the time that character is out. But it also gives you free items, so you also want to kind of constantly do that to increase your bond with your dragons, so that way you can increase the time that they're out on the field. So that's kind of a quick rundown of everything. With this new update that they came out with, which fixed a few things, as well as did the Halloween update, they give everyone a 10-fold ticket. So I did my daily deal. I actually got a 5-star card. One other thing before I do the summons, I'm going to show you in quick case I don't get a 5-star, is your rates change every time you pull. Right now I have the base rates because I just pulled a 5-star earlier today. So these are the base lowest rates that you can get. Every time you pull, the rates increase. So I'm going to show you, if I don't get a 5-star, the rates of the drop for a 5-star will increase. So first off, here's hoping we get a 5-star. Oh, I got 3 doves. That's promising. 4, 5. 5? No, we got 4. That's still good though. 4s can change into 5s. However, it is possible. I've seen it happen once, but it's possible. 5-star secretly? Ah, man. Alright, that's cool though. So we should get some new Halloween characters, but it's perfect because now I can show you that the rates increase every time. So, okay. I think that was a new 4-star card for me. Baby Dragon. Another card. That's the pumpkin. That's the Halloween card. That's awesome. So right now with the Halloween event, all the Halloween cards get an extra effect until the event ends. Alright, Forbidden Relic. Potion Grass.
Need some real muscle.
Vanessa. Okay, what's up, Vanessa? You look cool. It's a new character I didn't have. Halo. Oh, cool! Silk, right? Yeah, that's the Halloween dragon person. That's really cool. That's perfect. Alright, so I'm going to back out. I'm going to show you guys real quick but the rates just went up by 0.25%. I know it doesn't seem like a lot. Essentially, it went up 0.50% because it went up for both the featured and normal. So instead of being 4%, it's 4.5. But it does make a difference. It does. So one of the important things that I'm going to leave off with is adventurer stories. Is once you get an adventurer, it unlocks their story. So you just have to click on it. You can skip it, and then once you skip it, which I'm trying to do, you don't have to listen to the story, but you get 25 Wormite for the very first chapter of each character, and dragon as well. I'm going to select all. So for all the dragons, you have to rank their bond up to 7 in order to unlock their stories. For adventurers, you get it right away, but when you increase their mana circle, you increase the next chapters in their stories, which gets you an extra 10 here, 10 there. Right here, I have 4 for Elisane, which means I got a total of 25, 35, 45, 55 Wormite just for that one character. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. By the way, the same thing works with dragons. But this new thing just came out today with the update is that you need a looking glass, which I have no idea how to get it. When I do, I'll let you guys know. There's a few other things we're going to keep going on about for the next video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this part 1. I'm sorry it's a little long. Tried to give you guys a quick introduction of everything. The next video will be more of a in-depth for intermediate level. This was kind of just a quick overview of everything in Dragalia Lost. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments down below. Please subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again in the next video. Peace out.